High above the cheerful village of Whoville, nestled in the icy peaks of Mount Crumpet, the Grinch lived in solitude. His cave, cold and cluttered, mirrored the emptiness in his heart. Each day he sat alone, stewing in his bitterness as he watched the Whos below celebrate life with joy and laughter. The Grinch hated their happiness, their cheer, and most of all, their Christmas. "All that singing and smiling," he growled, pacing his dimly lit cave. "Bah! Christmas is nothing but noise and nonsense." Years of isolation had twisted the Grinch's view of the world. He believed the Who's joy was superficial, built on gifts and glitter. Little did the Grinch realize his heart had grown cold not because of the Who's, but because of his own loneliness and hurt. Once, long ago, the Grinch had not been so grumpy. As a young creature, he had eagerly tried to fit in, hoping to befriend the Who's. But an unkind remark or a forgotten invitation had wounded his sensitive heart. Bit by bit, he withdrew, building walls around himself, both in his cave and in his soul. "They only care about their shiny decorations and fancy feasts," he muttered, his voice tinged with old pain. To the Grinch, Christmas was a reminder of everything he felt he lacked: connection, belonging, and love. That's when he hatched his devious plan. He would steal Christmas and prove to the Who's that their joy was hollow. On Christmas Eve, the Grinch slinked down to Whoville dressed as Santa Claus, his loyal dog Max disguised as a reindeer. He crept through houses, swiping presents, ornaments, and even roast beasts. But as he stuffed a Christmas tree up a chimney, a soft voice stopped him. "Santa?" Turning, the Grinch saw Cindy Lou Who, a tiny girl with wide, trusting eyes. She was no taller than his knees, but her voice carried a warmth that pierced his icy heart. "Why are you taking our Christmas tree?" she asked innocently. The Grinch stammered, caught off guard. There's a light that won't light on one side. I'm taking it to my workshop to fix it." Cindy Lou smiled and offered him a cookie. "Thank you, Santa. Christmas isn't about trees or gifts anyway. It's about being together." Her words lingered as the Grinch climbed back to Mount Crumpet with his stolen loot. He tried to shake off the strange feeling stirring in his chest, but Cindy Lou's kindness had planted a seed of doubt in his plans. From his perch, the Grinch waited for the cries of despair to rise from Whoville. Instead, he heard singing. The Who's had gathered, hand in hand, their voices lifting in a joyful melody that echoed through the mountains. They sang without gifts, without decorations, without a feast. The Grinch's heart, long shrunken and hard, began to thaw. Tears welled in his eyes as he realized he'd been wrong. Christmas wasn't about presents or glitter. It was about love, community, and the simple joy of being together. "Maybe Christmas," he whispered, "doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas means a little bit more." Determined to make things right, the Grinch raced back to Whoville with his sleigh piled high. "I'm sorry," he called, tears streaming as he returned the stolen items. To his surprise, the Who's didn't scold or shun him. Instead, they welcomed him with open arms. "Join us," Cindy Lou said, taking his hand. The Grinch hesitated, then smiled. For the first time in years, he felt warmth, not just from the Who's, but from within. That night, the Grinch carved the roast beast at the Who's Christmas feast. Laughter and song filled the air as he sat among his new friends, his heart swelling 3 sizes larger. He had learned the greatest gift of all, the power of kindness and the joy of belonging. And from that day on, the Grinch's cave was no longer cold and lonely, for he had found a place where he truly belonged. Christmas had transformed him, proving that even the hardest hearts can be softened by love and compassion.